What's going on, guys, and welcome to the channel. We are the Men of Main Street. My name is Nick.
I'm Jeremy.
And we're here to bring you everything Disney, whether it be news, technology, anything you can imagine. We're here to talk about it. We're here to have fun. This is episode 1 of our ever-long series that we're planning on making here. We're going to talk about some technology stuff. We're going to talk about some parks. We're going to be talking about some different topics and news that we have coming up. Here to have fun. So, anyways, let's go do this. So,
all right, we're gonna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all you. Take it away.
Oh, we're gonna jump into some news here. We got a couple of fun topics that we want to touch on. Number 1. So both Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon will be opening May 21st to September 27th. And it's important because it's the first time they have opened together since 2019. So they've kind of just been alternating when they're open. Honestly, I didn't even notice this was a thing because it's been a while since I've been to a water park. But yeah, it's cool. It's also Blizzard Beach's 30th anniversary this year, so maybe it has to do something with that. But I mean, the question I have to you, Nick, is of the two water parks, which ones do you prefer?
Well, Jerry, I'm going to be 100% honest with you here. I don't know. I've never been. So, unfortunately for me, I have the pass. Don't get me wrong. I can go anytime I want. In fact, my wife is constantly trying to get me to go. In fact, we even have the pass to go play mini golf, all that fun stuff. She is always trying to get me to go. I cannot seem to get out of the actual four-man park bubble. And I know it's horrible to say, but we'll get there eventually.
I understand. I mean, it is what it is. I personally, between the two of them, Typhoon Lagoon is probably my favorite of the two. And the reason why is I just think the variety of rides are a little bit better. I mean, the wave pool. The wave pool is...
wave pool, yes. I've heard a lot of good things about that.
Did you know you could take surfing lessons at the wave pool?
I did not know that, but I've certainly heard of people trying to go out there and surf, so I didn't know you could actually take lessons. So that's good to know.
It's you have to go wake up really early in the morning to go. And I'll tell you this one memory when I was there. The last time we went, there was a guy there, and he was so good at body surfing the wave at Typhoon Lagoon. And I swear, he would start swimming, and then he would just all of a sudden you would see him go with the wave, and he'll stick his head up straight out of the water and just smile, the biggest smile you've ever seen, and just rise the wave the whole time. And you're like, whoa, watch out for this guy. It was very interesting, but I don't know, it sticks with me. With Typhoon Lagoon, I mean, it has some really good attractions, and they have that family raft ride. It has an animatronic, kind of like a story to it, which is not usually something you get in a water ride. So
no, definitely not. But I mean, hey, it is Disney, so I mean, I could definitely see that. See that. Did you say they have a water coaster there too?
They do. Crush and Gusher, I believe, is what it's called. Yes, nice. It's actually 2 slides. They're both water coasters, but I remember enjoying that very much as well.
Very nice. So, well, the only water park I've ever been, or anything like that with Disney, it would have to probably be the Aqueduct. So we'll save that for another video later on down the line. But I can tell you that Disney does do water slides right, and I've seen that time and time again. So I'm curious to see how this actually would go. We do have a trip coming up, so who knows? Maybe we'll actually sneak out that way. Who knows?
It should be warm enough this time at least, because last time you went was February.
Yeah, that's true. So now we're going to be going into May, and we're going to be going to Flower and Garden. Biggest reason I think I'm going to be going. So who knows? We'll see. Might be a little short trip, but I'm going to try to get a lot out of it, because you know how I am with that. It never stops. Get off the plane or get down there, drive down there, because I'm just that crazy, and just hit the ground running. That's just how I do things.
Yeah.
So, all right, Jared. Well, next thing I have for you, so we got some new shows over here at Hollywood Studios coming up. We have Disney Villains, and Unfairy Ever After, which is going to be coming on May 27th. So, a little bit about that one. They're saying you're going to enter a realm of the magic mirror. So, I'm a little curious to see what we're going to be doing with that because, not for nothing, don't we have a pretty exciting world coming to Magic Kingdom pretty soon?
Yes. Yeah, that's the very interesting piece about this. I
I mean,
I mean,
I can just see that they're trying to kind of get everyone amped up. I feel like, but I do wonder how long this is actually planning on staying here. That's my big thing right now.
I do as well. I mean, the two things I'm thinking about is one, well, there's a couple things. Is this just going to be a people eater when they're going to be doing renovations on Rock and Roller
Yep.
Coaster? It's also, I mean, at D23 they said everything was in active development, but part of me feels like that might not 100% mean it's going to happen. So this could be
Sure.
kind of like, they think Disney Villains is going to be huge, but maybe this is a test to be like, oh, let's see how the crowd really reacts to this, and if this becomes a staple of Hollywood studios and becomes very popular, then we know that Disney Villains is really where we want to put our investment. Um,
True. I mean, I think a lot of it too came from the lineup they had of all the merchandise that came out not that long ago about some of the villains, different things. I remember specifically, I think it was one of the lounge flies. Actually, it was like the poison apple, was something like that. And I knew that one was selling out like crazy, very quickly. And that was one that I think, to me, kind of sparked that. Hey, maybe people actually are interested in more the villain side of it than the actual heroes, which it's always kind of that 50-50 coin, but I think that it definitely brought to light a different side that, different interests, different crowd, I think.
yeah, and I'll mention that as part as like testing, I think it'll probably be an opportunity for them to see how much can we lean into the Disney villains without making it off-putting for our guests. Adults are gonna like the Disney villains no matter what, but is it going to be frightening to their children in this show? I'm wondering
Sure.
how intense this show is going to be.
Are we going to be another Stitch's Great Escape where we have to go shut it down because it's just so
I hope
terrifying?
not. I hope not. I don't think I could handle that, to be honest.
Well, I will have it be said that I did find what is actually in Stitch's Great Escape now when I did the Keys to the Kingdom tour, and I can tell you that it is now a break room.
Oh,
So they have no plans for that space at all right now. So that's a
that's
whole
good.
area of the park that's just kind of pushed away for right now. So
That's really
um,
interesting.
yeah, no, absolutely. But I do wonder. My big thing with this show coming up too is I wonder where they're planning on putting it. Or do we know if it's set for a certain stage, or have you got any other info on that at all?
It's going where the Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy is currently. So back there.
Okay. So you're right, I think, in saying that. You have an interesting location. You're going to be able to funnel more people from a different area that was, is very popular normally, being able to kind of siphon them off into an area, I think, that is not very well traveled. I think it'll get a lot more foot traffic down there. And I think you're right in saying I am curious to see how many shows we're going to be getting. I mean, I wonder if this is going to be like a Beauty and the Beast um, kind of show where we see like 6 or 7 in a day. If we get two, I mean, I guess it all depends too on how many pyrotechnics are involved, if there's any. I'd have to imagine there's going to be some. Um, I mean, hell, Phantasmic alone has a boatload right there, and I mean, I think it's probably some of the most villains that we actually see on Disney property at the moment, right?
Yeah, so yeah, I agree. So it seems like this show is going to it's going to focus on three villains: Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, and Maleficent, and it's basically going to go through how they were treated and who had basically the worst of their experiences, or most unfairly of them all. Uh, and what I think is what my biggest question for the show is are we looking at screen? Is it going to be mostly screen based, or is it going to be live actors? I really don't
True.
know, because what was there before was just a really advanced robotic animatronic of Lightning McQueen and a bunch of screens. And I saw some of the images from the construction, and it was big magic mirror as frames that would definitely had screens behind it. So I'll be
Hmm.
interested to see what it really is. But
So
if
as
it
I'm
is if it is another attraction with live actors, that's like the fourth. That's like the fourth or fifth attraction in that park
Yeah.
alone that'll have live actors, which is pretty cool.
It is, especially trying to go back more to the role of creating productions. I think that's a big thing that you've seen go away from Hollywood studios over the years. I know personally, seeing stuff like Lights, Motor, Action used to be one of my favorite things to actually go see there, see the shows, see all that, and see how movies are made. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love and enjoy seeing everything there has to go do with Star Wars, seeing Batuu, all that. It's a great time. I'll never say that I have a bad day at any of the parks, period. Um, but I will certainly say that I do miss that element to it. It is nice being able to go to like Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, still being able to go ahead and see actual actors on stage and seeing something that's kind of lasted the test of time. Um, but anyways, let's roll into our next show that we're going to talk a little bit about. It would be The Little Mermaid that is going to be coming back as well the same day on May 27th. Disney's saying that we're going to watch Ariel as she follows her dreams to be a part of the human world. This Little Mermaid's adventure is brimming with familiar moments, like the encounters of King Triton and Ursula and other stirring scenes. Now, before you even say anything about this one, all I hope and pray is that we do not see another gigantic puppet Ursula. I don't want it. I'm not for that.
I mean, if they
what are your
really want to
thoughts?
test that, if they really want to test that Disney villains, how scared you could be if kids are of Disney villains, and you'll get your also get some testing there. Uh,
I'll get my trauma right there. Yep, and therapy afterwards. Be having therapy with Dole Whip. Don't worry. Well, maybe not in that part, but yeah.
I I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I got a lot of Little Mermaid fans in my family, so I'm excited for them to watch it. Actually, we just entered a new niece, and her name is Melody from Little Mermaid too. So I'm sure she'll be a big fan of when this comes out. I'm very surprised, but this show has been down for 4 or 5 years, and they're returning back to starting it again. And my biggest question is, is it going to be different or the same? I'm just very
Yeah,
curious about that.
especially with that lapse in time. I mean, it's been so long since we've seen this show. The whole animator's courtyard really just kind of become. It's become something that I can't imagine Disney's proud of right now. So I'm curious to see what they're going to try to go do to bring that element back into it. Hopefully, get more foot traffic in there. I'd be curious to see, what else they might have later on down the line. Like we had originally spectated that, if Monsters Inc. Land was probably going to go over there, and then they changed that on us. So I'm curious to see. They have to have something they're going to go do over there. It's too big of an area to keep the same, I think, right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. And Launch Bay is a shell of even what that used to be. It used to have a
Yeah.
lot more, and now it's really just meet and greet and a couple dioramas,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really
And
it. So
I think my thing with that too is it just seems so out of place. I mean, when you think about it, Star Tours is even close. It's close enough to Batuu and Galaxy's Edge that I think it makes sense. But when you start going ahead and have to go all the way across the park through multiple lands to get there, I feel like it brings in that element. It's just that disconnect that you just don't have at that point. And I think they're trying to cling on to that element of theatrics, but at the same time too, you have a whole land to represent that. I feel like you'd be better served to bring that back to the land in another way, shape or form. I mean, right now, like in Disneyland, even we're seeing Luke Skywalker. That's something we don't have yet. I would hope later on down the line that would come, but it'd be nice to eventually get all the characters, maybe in like the respectful places as time goes on. But who knows, right?
yeah, I mean, I think the Launch Bay is kind of served its time, and as you
Yeah,
just mentioned, you can see Star Wars 3 places in Hollywood Studios. I love Star
absolutely.
Wars, but I don't need to go. I don't need it that much. It's a little bit. The only thing that's really nice about Launch Bay is you get to meet Darth Vader, and that's probably
Yeah.
a really cool character to meet that I don't want to lose that opportunity, but I don't know where else you put him. I don't think he belongs in Batuu.
No,
So
I do agree. Although I do think I'd have a pretty hard fangirl moment if he ever walked off the TIE Interceptor over in the Imperial side. I think I might lose my mind. I might lose my mind almost as much as I do when one of the boats does not come out for Phantasmic. That's some pretty that's an exciting moment, guys. I don't think everyone understands just how into it we are when we see our live streams for people like Ron or Janelle or Tanya, any of those people. That when we see a something different happen with that show, I think we could pinpoint it. I mean, within a half a second. I don't think a minute goes by that we're not texting each other saying, "What in the world is happening to that show?" In fact, just the other night they had to cancel it early, and I think you beat me to it. I think you had that message sent over to me before I even had a chance to send it over to you. So
You had that recently. We also had Mickey not appearing after Some Imagination. He went up top. He disappeared, and lights, nothing. So,
see, and I think that's my favorite thing that Ron does too. Is he'll be like, "Where did he go?" It's my favorite part.
Funny. That's funny.
Well, hey, well, we're talking about Hollywood studios. Before we break to our next topic, which is going to be a good one here, we should throw a sponsor in there. So you ready? You ready for this lovely one?
All right.
Today's episode is sponsored by Wookie Cookies. Watch out, they're a little chewy.
I have. Oh no, I like that. I fancied myself a Wookiee cookie. Actually, pretty sure you got one when we were together on my bachelor vacation. So it was a good time.
I don't think I can go to Backlot Express without getting one. I don't think it's a possibility, and I always go there. It never fails. I always end up going there. They have awesome gluten-free food, which, by the way, we will be talking about that eventually. We'll probably end up doing an episode, or I'll do a video or something. 'Cause that's a whole other thing for my little girl on that one. So another thing to bring up real quick, Roosevelt today, they don't have this one anymore on the site, but this is the High Appel one. Wouldn't be an episode without Roosevelt, so good to represent. But yeah, so we'll see what we have in our next episode for that. But our next big topic, this is one that I am very concerned about. They are changing Space Ranger spin. What are your thoughts on that?
I have a lot of thoughts. I mean, I've tried so hard to get Galactic Hero, and I gotta be honest with you, I've gotten Galactic Hero, but I always think of it as an asterisk, because every time I've gotten it, the ride's gotten stuck, and I've been able to just kind of mash that one target. So I got really close the last time, but I mean, the chances that it's gonna stop during your ride is like 70%. So it's like, But
I thought you took the oath, man. You're not supposed to get that without it moving.
They won't know what they don't know. I mean, Ranger gets it done, right?
I mean, you're not wrong. I guess I'll take that. I mean, but yeah, it looks like we got. Tell me some stuff that we have going on with that one. What do we have coming up here?
So there's going to be a new robot character. His name's going to be Buddy. So apparently that's going to be within a scene within the ride. I also am pretty sure that he will be replacing Buzz in the queue. I don't have total confirmation, but I think that's what's happening. Is he's going to replace Buzz. There's
as long as it's not Buddy the Elf, I'll be okay.
Yeah, that would be weird. I also think Buddy is a weird name to choose. I'm trying to remember. There was a robot in the Space Ranger show, that animated cartoon, and I don't remember the name of the robot.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they're not just using him.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna have to look that up.
But we're also getting new ride vehicles with video monitors, so I would think you're gonna something similar to the likes of Toy Story Mania. So those kind of video monitors. The big news here is handheld blasters. So instead of getting mounted, that's going to be a real game changer. Because if you're playing with two very competitive people, and one person's on the stick, they have a clear advantage. Because there's some times where you cannot turn that blaster enough to get it to where you want it to be. The cool thing about it is each one's going to have its own color. So in the same car, you're each going to have your own color. So you're going to know, if you're shooting at the same target, which one's actually hitting. And with that, there are interactive targets that'll light up when hit. So my biggest question with that one is so we're getting these new targets. Are they replacing all the targets, or is it just some of the targets going to be new targets, and then we're keeping the
Hmm,
rest?
that's a
And
good question.
yeah, and then my other question is, we know, a lot of the high value targets right now. The inside of the robot's hand, the volcano, the
All right, Alec,
claw.
hold on. I don't know if we
Oh,
can give everyone our secrets here, okay?
well, I mean, we can say what they are, but it takes a real space ranger to hit those targets,
All
or
right,
galactic
fair enough.
hero. Excuse me.
It does take a galactic hero to make it happen.
Right. So I'm curious if those are going to stick around, and if Buddy is going to be part of. I have a feeling if Buddy is going to be part of one scene, which of those scenes he's going to replace.
True. And I also wonder too, kind of going against, like you're mentioning Toy Story Mania, and I think that is a great ride. But I'll be honest, man, that ride is just hard as hell to win. I feel like every time I look, there's tactics for it. Try to shoot the volcano as many times as you can, then it shoots out the balloons. But the problem I always run into is that I feel like it's is too much motion going on. And I do wonder with this upgrade, are we going to be getting that kind of classic arcade feel that we would get, like at a shooting gallery that we've kind of been getting over the years, or is it going to be more of a state, an actual, you know, everything's moving, it's going to be beyond competitive. There's going to be no possible way to win. I do wonder what we're going to be looking at for that. Because I know Toy Story Mania takes a lot, and I mean a lot of skill to be able to get up to that crazy high score in there.
And I think Toy Story Mania is actually more of a co-op shooter than a individual, because in order to get those high scoring targets, you have to trigger them. Either, I know on the ring one, you have to get all the different aliens, and then it'll shoot out all the high points. And if you work together with who you're with to get those high point targets to come out, I think it's only going to benefit you. So, I mean, I think everyone's just so focused on, hitting as many as they can. But if you
Yeah.
maybe work a little bit cooperatively with whoever's next to you, you might actually get a higher score there.
That's true. I mean, I am curious to see. But hey, I guess we're gonna, we'll see as time goes on, and we'll be sure to report back to everyone too and see what we find. I know I personally cannot wait to go out there. It's one of my favorite rides. Personally, there's nothing I like more than as the minutes count down to the park close, just going on over and over and over on Space Ranger Spin, just because no line, you run right through it. It's a great competitive way that I feel to end the night. So I can't wait to see what we're going to have going forward. Of course, just like anything, though, it's going to be closing, so it's immediately risen in popularity to crazy wait times lately we've been seeing. I've been seeing upwards of easily 120-minute waits recently.
Really? I have not seen that. That's crazy.
It's been going up and down. It fluctuates from what I've seen, but definitely higher than normal, to say the least. So, do we have a closing date on that one yet, by chance, or was it just
No, I don't.
whenever?
I don't think they put a date on it. The only one thing I will note about Buzz Lightyear is, I mean, if you really think about it, that ride hasn't been updated since it's opened. I can't even tell
Yeah,
you when it opened, but definitely in the '90s or earlier. And that
yeah,
ride still always has a line. I mean, maybe at night you can go
always.
around and around, but it's always got at least like a 15, 30-minute wait. It's just a
Yeah.
people eater, and people love it because of how interactive and fun it is.
Oh, absolutely, and especially with the Omnimover style attraction, being able to kind of constantly keep that belt driving. I mean, if it's moving, we got people getting on it, and that's the biggest thing for it. So, but yeah, I'll for one be very happy to not have the spin controls be as loose as they are, or just have the car start rotating on you as you're trying to use it. Um,
That's true.
I don't know if that's meant to happen or if it just happens because there's nothing that I hate more when I'm trying to trying to aim and get them and I just start rotating all the way around and I'm like nope we got to go back. So yeah, I'm curious to see what we have for that. But all right, well I guess let's move on to our next topic. Um, so now we have EPCOT, my favorite park. I mean, I've made that clear, but as far as that goes, we have for the first time ever at a park a Disney adults only lounge bar area called Geo 82. So, Jer, you want to take it away? What are some things that we've heard about that?
Well, they say that they're going to have. It seems like to be more of a tapas style place where they're going to have cocktails in small plates.
Well, I
Um,
mean, we need more food at Epcot. We need it.
clearly, well, clearly we
Clearly,
don't have enough.
clearly. Anyways, continue. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, I mean that's an exciting part. It's going to be the first of two lounges coming to Walt Disney World this year. The other one would be the I don't think they have an official name for it, but the Pirates of the Caribbean Lounge in Magic Kingdom, which I can't imagine that's going to be adults only. I feel like that has to be open to everyone.
And let me ask you this because I'm pretty sure it goes against Walt's whole principle. The Pirates of the Caribbean one isn't going to be serving alcohol. Am I correct in saying that?
Well, I think they can if it's
Okay.
considered a sit down. So
Oh, true, true. Okay, I didn't think about that.
because they get away with that at Skipper's Canteen. Granted, their selection is very limited.
Sure,
So Pirates, I don't know what really they're going to at over there. I'm not because I don't think it would be. It's not going to be somewhere you're going to be able to just get a drink and walk away. I'm guessing if it's going to be
sure.
really, if it's going to be a bar, or if they're grouping it in together with this lounge, then I'm expecting it's going to serve alcohol. I think it's just going to be reservation only. It's going to be like an Oga's. I would consider it
Oh,
something like
okay.
that.
I mean, that makes sense. A small kind of little bar area. Make reservations for, have a little hangout. I definitely have a feeling for at least for a while, we're going to be looking at having a time limit for that area,
Oh,
right? I have a feeling
absolutely, yeah.
that there's no way, and I'm really hoping, as annoying as some of those walls have been to get around and navigate. I don't know if you've seen them last time you were there. I know last time I was there, I saw them, and it is a lot of walls. But to be quite honest with you, I really hope they keep that because, or at least to some degree, because you have so much foot traffic coming out of that ride the way that it currently sits that if you were to try to navigate around that and try to cut through the lounge bar area, it's going to be a disaster. But we both do know just how well Disney is at moving people and keeping everything around like that. Shout out to the people mover. Um,
The whole purpose of it. That's right.
absolutely. But we got to go ahead and throw it in there. Um, best time to go explore Tomorrowland is today. So we'll just see you in the future on that one. But
So what would
go
you
ahead.
what are your thoughts on having like let's go back to Geo 82. I mean, that's the
Yes,
first
sorry.
time we have an adult only lounge at a Disney park. I mean, Epcot is probably the best place to do it. What are your thoughts?
Well, I I'm looking forward to it. However, I would be remiss to say that I'm not going to enjoy it for the sense that I can't take my daughter there yet. And I have a feeling that it's going to put a damper on a lot of families, which kind of a big downside for that. Um, I do I do wonder what really is going to bring it to that level of adults only. I mean, even on like Disney cruises, when we talk about adults only areas, we're talking more about fine dining. We're not getting that here. We're getting samplers, we're getting apps, we're getting cocktails. I mean, even at Oga's, they still have kid-friendly drinks. Why are we not getting that here? You know what I mean? I guess that's my biggest question and biggest gripe about it. I'm excited for it because it's Epcot. I mean, I love everything about it. Spaceship Earth is one of my favorite icons. Period. I can't even tell you how many times I'd stare at that golf ball and just wish I was under it. Um, but I do have to say that it's one of those things. It just makes me kind of uneasy. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's funny because when you talk about Disney World and Epcot, I feel like they try to push off the fact of what Epcot is to some adults. It's everyone's got this goal to drink around the world, and I feel like this is their first step of being like, we could probably make some more money off of that, and
Yeah.
and I think probably having a space in their mind where it is just adults, and I'm not talking 18 plus, it's 21 plus, from my understanding.
Oof. Yeah.
It's for those people who go to just drink around the world, if they have a spot where they can go and literally not see a single kid, that might be a big pull for them. Especially
Yeah.
if it's like a really hot summer day. Think about it. If you're drinking if you're like going for, a bunch of your buddies or your whoever over 21, and it's a hot day, and the only places you can think of to go hide in before this lounge is like in a busy cafeteria filled with kids or somewhere else, and I would look at that and be like, oh, that seems like a good place to hang out. I'm also really curious. I'm like 95% sure the Pirates Lounge is going to be reservation only. I'm curious if this is going to be reservation or just like a bar in a big open seating area. I think that would make the most sense for them.
Hmm.
I hope that's what it is, but I could see this also being like, oh, you got to make reservations. And honestly, anytime you put the word reservation down for like a lounge or something, the lower the chances I'm probably going to go.
Just make a virtual queue to get in there from now on.
That's probably what's going to happen. The
I
other thing I
mean,
was thinking about is this will actually free up, and it's actually going to compete a lot with Space 220's lounge.
that's true. I'll be honest. That is one lounge I always forget about. Every time I keep saying I want to go there, but you never hear anyone talk about it anymore. I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like it's kind of fallen from the wayside. You don't see it. So for me, it's like, and I'm also not a huge fan of Mission Space. I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. Um, but I certainly, on a hot summer day, my first priority is not going on Mission Orange to make my
Yeah.
stomach into a blender here and then go up to the lounge. You know what I mean? So I don't typically venture to that side of the park, especially right now with Test Track being down. I don't make it a point to really run out that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's funny. I think when it came out, it got a lot of buzz, and I think everyone was a little bit of sticker shocked because it was just prefix menus as well. The only
Oh,
way you could get
absolutely.
around that is if you eat in the lounge. And I think, honestly, I think at this point, I can't imagine it's as busy as it was when it opened like 3 years ago. I'm surprised they haven't switched off of the prefix menu.
Yeah, no, that actually I didn't even realize they're still on prefix over. That's crazy. That's
At
like
least that's all.
COVID style menus.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like no, it just locks you into the price. You have to spend
Well,
at least.
yeah. I just remember they started doing that when COVID really was becoming a big thing. They started making everything um, prefix when they did start opening everything up, just to kind of limit the amount of options that were possible and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I guess to the extent of locking the price in, but yeah, I do think that is a little bit crazy.
Yeah,
I
for
I have one for
comparison, I mean, I was just saying for comparison, Be Our Guest is prefixed.
yeah. I mean, and that's not a place that I really enjoy going to either. I've been there. I've been there. I did it. To say that I would go back again, I felt like it was very crowded for what it was. Very kind of overpriced even for the dishes. It just wasn't. I don't know. It didn't speak volumes to me. And to be fair too, that's the other reason why I don't go to Space 220 Lounge or Space 220 is because there's so many more different options and more diverse options at Epcot. I'll be the first to say I'd rather go to Tapanito or go to Beer Garden or go to Rosencrown. I just went to Le Cellier. There's
Yeah,
just so many options that you have, and then that's not even to mention the festivals that we have. I know when I go down, the first thing that I want to go do, and that I'm going to go do when I go down there, is I'm going straight to Flower and Garden. I'm going to all the booths. I'm going to try a little bit of everything. We're going to go see what are some of the best of the fest. We'll be recording, guys, so stick around for all that. But we're going to be making sure to kind of just check out what's new and what's exciting, and just seeing some old returning favorites that are some of my favorites, and that includes drinks, food, snacks, a little bit of everything. Um, but yeah, that's definitely not my first priority is to go to a sit down meal every time at a park that has that many options there.
and it's funny because the chances of you going to Epcot when there's not a festival is extremely small.
I, you
There's
know, I,
not many times.
it was funny. Quick little story here. When I first took my wife to Epcot, I think I remember calling you on that one, and she told me that was her least favorite park. She
Wow.
said this park has nothing going on.
And you pulled out
And
the divorce papers.
I was here, have it back. No, I'm just kidding. No, we at that point, it was funny because the festival started the very next day, and that's when you had texted me. It was the first day of
Oh, it
Food
was
and
food and
Wine, I
wine.
think.
Yeah.
Was it for 2021 maybe or 2022? Maybe it was
Uh,
2022.
yeah, I'm not sure.
And we went out, and it was the first day of Food and Wine, and we had all the influencers, everyone that we follow, everyone that we like to talk about. Everyone was there, and it was incredible. We saw so many people. We saw so many. We tried so many amazing dishes, and my wife looked at me at that moment and said, "This is now my favorite park." So it's not necessarily now. She's still a little bit more to Magic Kingdom, but she's a little bit biased because she does really like Finding Nemo. So there's a little pavilion, a little tiny one, called the Seas. I don't know if you heard of it. That's probably her favorite ride in the entire park. So I think I kind
All
of
right.
went a little bit on that one. So. All right. Well, let's keep moving on. We could talk all day about food at the parks, but I guess one of the last big topics we're going to discuss is Disneyland, the season of the Force. So they get that at Disneyland.
Lucky
Oh,
stinkers. I mean, I would love that here. And you know what? You know what it makes me think about? It takes me back to my childhood. My parents were taking me to Disney World, and we went to MGM Studios for Star Wars weekends. I mean, talk
mm.
about the coolest things. They had characters from the movies that you would never see. Like characters I don't even know the name of. It's the bounty hunter. I have a picture with who's the girl bounty hunter? I don't remember her name right now, but she's got the ponytail, and I'm like, when would you ever see that again? But when we were there, also they had
Bo-Katan?
no, it's not her. It's the
Hmm.
she's in Attack of the Clones. I'll
Oh, that
remember.
one. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes. The one with the gills
uh,
on it. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
yeah. She's like white and she has like orange hair.
Hmm.
But anyways, so many good memories of that, and they also brought in stars too. Like the guy who plays Django Fett was there. Not Tamara Morrison. The kid version. He was there, which
Oh, yeah.
he still goes to a lot of Comic Cons and Star Wars weekends all the time. So he's around a lot. But I definitely have seen him there, and the guy who plays young Anakin Skywalker from Phantom Menace was there too. So those that was cool. But I mean, let's talk about what they're getting at Season of the Force.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it started over on the 28th of March, and they're still getting it. You got a new character in Batu. So we talked a little bit earlier about it. Spoiler alert: it's Luke Skywalker. Kind of going off of that too. We're got a new, what is that? Shadows of Memory. Are we talking about a new light show we have going on here? A new
Yeah,
projection show?
projection show. Yeah, I ended up
Mm.
watching it over on Coda's screen. Coda the Explorer Bear. He's got a great stream at Disneyland, and he showed Shadows of Memory, and it was like midnight, and I really had to go to bed, but I really wanted to see what this was about, and I was really impressed by it. And it's just a projection show, which gives me a lot of hope because like it's if this is an exact duplicate of what you have on the East Coast versus Disneyland, then we should easily be able to get this.
And I think that would be the biggest point to see if it's 100% the same. Because like you said, you can literally, I mean, if that's the case, there's no more having to change projection mapping. It is
Yeah.
send the show, send it. I mean, it doesn't get much simpler than that.
The other cool thing they do over there is fire the rising moons, which essentially what they do is the normal Disneyland show firework is happening, and the fireworks are just launched like all the way back by Galaxy's Edge, so you can
Hmm.
see them really well. So what they'll do is they'll play a whole different set of music for Galaxy's Edge in the theme of the fireworks, which
So
I
it's
think
like
is
a two,
pretty
like a
neat.
2 for 1.
So you could go there on two different nights, see the same fireworks shows, but stand in two different spots and have totally different experiences.
Now that sounds like some Haunted Mansion stuff right there.
I don't know what you mean by
I
that.
mean, well, you look at it one way, it looks like one thing. Look at the other side, it looks like something
Oh,
totally different.
okay. Yeah,
You,
I
you
get
know
what
what
you
it's all
mean.
about. You see in the marble
Okay.
bus come in, they start looking at you, they're smiling, and then they look like they're, ready to attack you in full force. Sorry, that's my keys to the kingdom knowledge kind of coming back in there. We talked a little bit much about that kind of thing. So I'm getting you to go on that the next time I go do it. So you best be ready
Yeah,
for it.
I should do it. Really should.
In fact, I actually well, we'll talk more about it in a minute. I just 3D printed a full-size Keys to the Kingdom wall ornament, if you want to call it that. It wasn't
Wow,
a wall, so I'm going to call it a wall ornament.
you haven't shown me that. I'll be interested to see or hear
I
about it.
will I will send it over later on.
Uh,
But yeah, I guess the biggest thing that my biggest point behind everything at Disneyland is why can't we have the nice things?
yeah, they like to argue that, people come to Disney on a once in a lifetime experience and they want to get what they came for. And I get that, but like Hollywood Studios could easily just get some more Star Wars love. I mean, think about it.
Oh, sure.
We had almost we had almost a season of the Force. We had because we used to have the March of the First Order with Captain Phasma and all the stormtroopers would march down that main street there, and then we had the stage show right after that, which was in the middle, and then at night you would have Star Wars: The Galactic Spectacular, and I actually really liked that show. I would not be upset if that came back around every May. Like we get our own season of Force at Hollywood Studios. I don't think it would really upset people that much, to be honest with you. But
I mean, I think instead we're just going to get a couple clips on the Chinese theater for. I can never remember the name of that show. There's two of them, I think, right? That
yes,
play.
there is. There's the Wonderful World of Animation and starts
Yes.
with movie mix something like that.
Movie Mix Magic or something like that. I'd have to go back and check.
Yeah, I'm getting it confused with
But
the Disneyland fireworks show right now.
fair enough. Fair enough. Well, that kind of wraps up everything that we have going on, at least for our main topics here. But our new segment, or something that we're going to start bringing in, I think, to all of our episodes kind of coming up here, is Jeremie here is actually very talented and he's kind of on a mission right now. He's trying to make every Disney resort their logo. He's trying to go ahead and 3D print them out. Now, full disclosure with him, he has it a little harder than I do. He has to do layer stacking. So everything that he does, he prints one color, then he has to take his filament out, he puts the new filament in, then he does the next layer with a different color, then he does the same thing over and over again. Now, he's tried having me do this on my printer. At one point, he made me redo Pop Century, I think close to 15, it was 15 swaps, I think, for that one. I spent
Art
about
of
all
Animation.
day. Oh, Art of Animation. And I spent about all day switching it. And then the very last color for me, I ended up actually messing up on my layer height, and I had to redo the whole thing. But either which way, he's very talented at making all these. He's constantly sending them. So we're going to do a segment here. We're going to talk a little bit about each week one that he's done. We'll talk a little bit about the resort, a little bit about 3D printing it, some of the colors he's used, that sort of thing. And so Jared, surprise us. What do we have today?
This week we're going to we're starting really high because it's my absolute favorite resort on Disney World property.
Okay.
We're going to the Wilderness Lodge. Nick, have you ever been to the Wilderness Lodge?
I have been. Now, not the capacity that you've been, I think, but I have been to Whispering Canyon Cafe, and I can say it's been one of the most exciting and fun experiences I have done on property.
It is a good time. Make sure you ask for ketchup.
Yes, anyone that's never been, ask for ketchup.
It's a cool resort. I mean, there's so many good things about it. You got three or four really good restaurants. You got Artist Point.
Yeah.
You got Geyser Point. No, it's Artist Palette. No, I'm thinking
No,
of it wrong.
so you're thinking the cruise ship stuff a little bit here. So
I
we
know,
have
but
Whispering Canyon. We have Storybook something. What is it? Storybook Adventures or something?
maybe.
And then we have Geyser Point. I know is one of the bars there, or bar slash grill. Um, but yeah, I know my cousin actually, or my nephew, just actually went to the Storybook one, and I have some pictures of him actually um, with the Evil Queen and all that. So, but yeah, no, it's an awesome resort. I've had the pleasure of going in there in the wintertime to see that incredible Christmas tree that they have in there. I mean, of course, every resort gets their own, but that place is just, you're right in saying it is definitely a gem. It's also one of my favorites. It's also where we believe that my office at the parks resides in, right?
Yes.
Um, yes, it's we'll have to drop the photo in here in a little bit at the end or something. Um, but yes, that is my office away from home.
It's right. If you don't or know what we're talking about, if you're going into Wilderness Lodge and you take a hard right, you'll end up at the Boulder Ridge, which is the DVC part of the resort. And there's downstairs. There's like these random office desks with really nice chairs. You could just like work like by a tiny lamp. It's very quaint. And they always have the music playing there is just like classic Western style music. And if you turn the corner, then you end up in the railroad room, which is a
Yes.
very historic, really cool place filled with artifacts from Walt Disney's personal miniature railroad collection. And it's got a fireplace with Casey Jr. across it, some of the most comfortable rocking chairs you'll ever sit in. I have I'll never ever forget when we were on my bachelor trip and we just had the guys sitting around the fireplace, just talking. It was honestly one of the best moments of that trip just because of how special it was. I was glad I
Yeah.
got to share it with you guys. Um, I mean, Wilderness Lodge. So just to go back, we were talking the restaurant. It's Artist Point. We were close.
Artist Point. Okay.
And then there's Whispering Canyon Cafe, Geyser Point Bar and Grill, Roaring Fork, and the one that I have not been to, but I've heard is the secret best bar in Disney World is Territory Lounge.
Really? I've never heard of that
Yes,
before. That
it is.
you got me wanting to go there.
Yeah, I've heard it's tucked away, kind of near where Artist Point is, and they say that
Okay.
the drinks and they have regional wines and craft brews, and they say everything here is phenomenal, and it's very well themed. And it's very kind of small, but it's a cool place to go. I mean, Wilderness Lodge is a special place in my heart. My parents brought us there when we were younger. We stayed there. I felt like king of the world staying at the resort. My first experience in bunk beds, that was really exciting.
Well,
Um,
especially being on that close to the to Magic Kingdom too. You're not necessarily
yeah,
on the monorail loop, but you're very close.
you just jump right on the boat and off you go.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
it's a beautiful resort, and I have great memories eating at Geyser Point's probably one of my favorite lounges. And bar. Well, it's a restaurant, but I know I went there. I took my now wife. We went on a date night there, and then watched fireworks on their shoreline. They pipe in the music. It's really cool. I loved, and then that even just going to see the geyser itself near where the pool is
Yeah.
cool. I mean, they do a good job there.
And don't they have smaller geysers too as you kind of go around, or is it just that one that's over
I,
there?
it's just that one, but they have a ton of natural. Oh, they have the. I guess I don't know if you want to consider the one that's in the hotel, right in the lobby
Oh, it
is.
could be. Yeah.
It's more like a spring that flows
Yeah.
out and all the way down to the pool, which is like honestly really cool because it looks like it flows directly into the pool. It's
Hmm.
like but I'm not going to ruin any magic here, but it's really neat. Um, just honestly, if you're at Walt Disney World and you're looking for take a break from the Magic Kingdom, or you have a resort day where you're just going to go explore resorts, it's like super high on the list. I mean,
Yeah.
excellent food, just a cool place to relax, look around. I would do some character dining there at Artist Point. It's awesome, and go over to Whispering Canyon Cafe for a really fun dinner show. Not a show,
And
but it's an experience, really.
oh, it absolutely is. I can tell you just a couple fun tidbits on it without ruining too much. Make sure you ask for if you ask for a Diet Coke, um, you might want to ask for a couple of them. Okay. Make sure you ask for ketchup. Everyone wants to help with that. Um, and I think last for that is if you ask for a side of something, bring an extra stomach or make some room for that because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Definitely a lot of food there. I think it's a
Absolutely.
family style.
It is. It's. I don't know if they would call it a family style, but it is
Yeah,
something style.
yeah.
uh, it's
It,
um, it's a wonderful time, and you know, in my experience, going between there, 50s prime time, in a kind of a show setting like they give you there, in either one, I would take Whispering Canyon any day. The food is better, and B, they're a lot more interactive. Because you figure you're not in the park. You know, they don't have to worry about putting a show on 24/7. They're there just to have fun with you. They're there to just make it just the best experience possible, uh, just like anything is at Disney, and always providing that 5-star service no matter what the case is.
Definitely. I mean, if it's a chilly day too, going to sit by a fireplace, which they have, I would say like probably 9 different fireplaces in that
Yeah,
resort. You could easily just go warm up there for a while, get a drink, and chill out.
absolutely. Well, and that brings us back full circle here. So our print, can we take a look at it? Can we see what we
Oh,
are looking at?
another print. So, uh, I mean, there's not a lot to tell you here. This is kind of one of the easier ones because it's only 2 colors. I will say, I plan on making a more advanced one with some additional colors because I got some light blue now and some green. So I might do another version with some greener trees and some blue on the mountains here. But this one was pretty easy, just a one filament swap. But it looks really nice on my wall regardless.
And how do you have that hung on your wall, by the way?
Like 35 pieces of wall safe tape.
Okay. So,
I,
so for those of you that are in an apartment, you'll be just fine. You go ahead and
I,
just put that putty
yeah.
or this tape. You'll be all good.
Honestly, the reason I do is because I feel bad if I put up because I've learned from not recently, but I learned that command strips don't often not damage walls. They usually do
No.
damage walls,
Oh
and I
yeah.
put so many things on these walls because of this that I don't want to have to fill 100 holes when it's time to eventually leave this place. So I figure
Yeah.
that's the better solution.
Fair enough.
But
Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. After all, we are on podcast number 1. So, with that being said, and you know, showing our prints here and all that, just wanted to point out some of the hardware we're using. So, Jared, I know you are using an Ender 3 V2 from Creality right now. So you don't have any kind of AMS unit, so you have the luxury of filament swapping left and right. And I'm over here using a Bamboo P1S with an AMS unit. I might possibly be upgrading to 2 AMS units. Probably get the 2 Pro eventually here, but
yeah,
makes things a little bit easier.
I've definitely woken up like at 2 a.m. to the beeping going on in the other room and going to do a filament swap. Um, so I'm looking to upgrade too pretty soon, hopefully, just so I don't have to do all those filament swaps. But for now, it is working pretty good.
Absolutely, and the air quality you're getting is great. The prints are looking great. I can't wait to show everyone on the channel next week, see how what we have for them next week and what resort we're going to be talking about, and all that. So, if you guys have made it this far in the show, we'd like to both say thank you very much. And if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button and hitting subscribe so you can see all of our upcoming content and stuff that we have planned for you guys. Where you guys are in for a wild ride here on the channel. We're planning on talking about everything and all things Disney, things that relate to it, talking all about technology and different things that go into the different rides in the parks. And it's all stuff that we're very excited to bring for you guys. So with that being said, we are the Men of Main Street. I'm Nick.
I'm Jeremy.
And this has been episode 1. And we will see you in the future.